Well, joining us now is the chairman of the Senate Committee on Media and Publicity, Senator Yemi Adaramodu. Thank you so much, Senator, for joining us on the news tonight.
Oh, you are welcome very seriously. And then good evening to Nigerians.
Welcome back from your long recess, extended.
Not extended.
You extended to observe Workers' Day.
Yes, because of May Day.
And you got like an extra week.
Nigerian workers. They are, you don't count it by weeks, by days, legislative days.
Okay.
We had only 2 extra legislative days.
Well, let's talk about
Saturday and Sunday, Friday, they are not part of the legislative days.
Great, welcome back. Well, a lot has happened since you were on break, Senator, and I'm sure you're aware.
Sure.
Today you had another moment of silence. As a Nigerian and as a journalist, I have lost count of how many times the Nigerian Senate has observed a moment of silence after every national tragedy. As a Senate, are you not tired of this moment of silence? When will enough be enough?
Not only that we are tired, we are very, very much at pain. And then not only that we are very much at pain, we think that there must be a stop to all this kind of tragedy, tragic stories told by our citizens, our constituents. And that Nigeria, we just have to return to peace. And not only that, because when the marauders, when the human rustlers, when these undesirable elements, these unscrupulous elements, when they are maybe propelling us to a kind of national insipidity, then definitely, we are the conscience of Nigerians, the balance of the people, the parliament of the people, the representatives of the people. We just have to wake up and now maybe veer off the normal, connotatively, ways that we have been doing things. Because initially, when they talk about inertia or kinetic approaches of either Boko Haram, terrorists, or bandits, we thought that when we just make appropriations and say we now buy guns, buy Tucano aircraft, buy this and buy that for our security men, that would be at least put these people at check. They find out that the more we appropriate to make sure that we live at peace, the more that all these kind of maybe residual and the sporadic activities, these devil activities of the hereditaries among us are just coming up. And then today we said we have to put a stop at it. And how do we put a stop at it? We all know that security is not the job of only one person. It's not the job of only one agency. It's the job of everybody. So let us now, like the Holy Book will say, let us come and reason together and now find a solution to the issue of insecurity in Nigeria.
Let me come in there.
Kano,
yeah.
Bono,
distinguished Senator,
Zamfara.
If you'd allow me, let me come in there because you are about to, talk about the 2-day summit, security summit that you've planned. And just like Adesu had noted, I mean, it looks like the National Assembly, both the Senate and the reps, have not, approached the issue of insecurity in Nigeria with the kind of urgency it deserves. I mean, you've come back from your break, thankfully you have. Now you're planning a 2-day security summit to address more than 15-year
my
issue.
sister.
Will 2 days be enough to address the issue?
My sister.
Hold on, distinguished.
Okay,
and just like was noted by our correspondent there, Omo Bazoaye, that there have been previous security summits. Absolutely, that led nowhere.
National Assembly, that. Yes. Now let me give you an analogy. If tournaments are the same, and the players are not the same, and the coaches are not the same, then the results are not supposed to be the same. So the tournament that is the same is Parliament and the executive. But today, the 10th Assembly is not the same as 9th Assembly and 8th Assembly. And then the presidency is not the same as the president of yesterday and yesteryears. Then the coaches, which are now the Nigerians themselves with their experience, are not the same. So definitely we are not going to have the same result. Now, let us say it. Even when we came on board newly, freshly, 2023, the first thing that we did was to ensure that we have very able-bodied men who are well experienced and who can give us results as security chiefs. We screen them seriously. We screw them, we skills them, we made sure that the best emerged. That is from us. Now, appropriation, so that there won't be any excuse that, oh, because we cannot have ammunition, we cannot have arms, then the National Assembly appropriated very well. And there had never been any kind of excuse over that the National Assembly, we have brought what we needed, and then they have not approved. We did that one. And you will recall that on several occasions, we have been inviting security chiefs for closed-door meetings because we cannot just open up and expose security strategies. Right. We have called them. At least I know that 9 times we have done that one.
Okay.
So after that 9 times, and we are still getting this result that we are getting, then definitely it means that there's something that is missing. And what is missing is that the contribution of everyone in Nigeria. And then now, like I said, either southwest, northwest, southeast, northeast, north central, south. Now, all of us, we are now experiencing that kind of not being able to close our 2 eyes while we are asleep. Then definitely, it should not take us several hours before Nigerians, together with us, we now sit down and say that this is the problem and this is what we have to do. Okay. That's why we have called for that security summit.
All right, Senator.
For only 2 days. Because if we say we want to have it for 1 week, it becomes a jamboree.
Senator,
but it's going to be a very serious talk.
If we let you, I'm going to speak on ending. I know you have a lot to say, but this is the news and it's a conversation. Let me ask you, I'm glad that you have listed your functions as the legislature. Yeah. But you missed out or you omitted a very critical point, which is oversight and accountability. Oh, yeah. It is the job of the National Assembly. So you have budgeted and you have screened the budget and you said they have been given enough funds, but are you able to? I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet.
Okay. I understand where you are going.
Accountability function of the Senate. How do you ensure that the monies are spent on security?
I know where you are going. Now let me tell you something. When you have kinetic approach of the elitists and fomenting troubles, it's not going to be about shooting guns alone anymore. It's going to be some strategies. It means that locals must be brought in, traditional rulers must be brought in, some other critical stakeholders must be brought in. Now, it means that we need the knowledge, the experience, the contribution of everyone in Nigeria now as input into what we are going to do, because, you know, it's an aspect. Buying guns, giving ammunition is an aspect of it. Because initially we thought that if these people come with guns, and then we have people that can shoot guns.
But all due respect, that's not the question.
Then definitely.
Senator, that is why we have done our oversight. Every kobo and
we have done our oversight.
Every kobo and naira dedicated to security, spent on security.
That's what I'm telling you. We have done our oversight over the army and over the military generally.
What have you discovered?
I found out that they did what we appropriated for. They got the guns, they got the ammunition. But guns and ammunition alone cannot do this. Because
what seems to be missing in your findings so far?
What seems to be missing in our findings is that everybody must be brought on board. Traditional rulers, the locals, especially local government, and then every citizen must be brought on board. So that, because when we even talk about these nefarious people, characters, they live among us. But when a soldier has gun and ammunition and he wants to shoot, you can only shoot the person that you say.
But has the Senate investigated, you know, some of the claims being made by Benue State Governor and even the Plateau State Governor, for instance, that these people are foreigners, those who speak Fulani, speak, you know,
foreign languages.
Now, that is why, that is part of the reason, that's the part of the reason that we are now having the summit.
Right.
Because, you know, we have just resumed freshly, the Senate and the reps. Now, if we are now having a 2-day, then the Benue and the Plateau State government will now come up and tell us what they have found out, their own experience. So their experience will now inform our own next reaction to issues, and then how we are going to take it, and then what we will now expect the executive to do
Will the Senate, this 10th Senate, look at the 8th and 9th reports on what they came up with, at least to help, you know, in whatever you will come up with?
Surely.
Is that even a possibility?
Surely it's a continuum. We will do that one. We are going to do that. We are going to be holistic with it. Number one is that for that 2 days, we allow Nigerians to come up with suggestions, with solutions that they think that they deem fit, then especially those areas that are deadly under the siege of these hereditists. So we'll allow them. Then the other areas. Then that is where we are going to know whether the desirability of even state police and then constabularies, local constabularies, and so on and so forth. So Nigerians will now sit down, we will now talk, and we now make a resolution. And then when we have a resolution, the resolution is what we are going to legislate on. It's no more going to be the business of only the security officials anymore. It's going to be the resolution of everyone. And now that one will now inform what we are going to approve for the security chiefs of
Senator,
Nigeria.
it just seems like there's no sense of urgency on the part of the authorities. I mean, NEC, which constitutes the governors, has been talking about state police for God knows how many months now, and no resolution. The Senate
but let's move away from that one is not a problem, because we are now on the verge of constitutional review.
All right.
And then definitely
talking about the constitutional
review is not going to be done by NEC. It's going to be done by Nigerians.
That's why Nigerians are wondering why there's no sense of urgency. Senator Adaramodu, if you allow me, because we have very little time to go. On electoral reforms, this 10 Senates is almost half time into your tenure. Some Nigerians say you're dragging your foot when it comes to the amendment of Electoral Act, and you know time is not your friend. So where are we when it comes to electoral reforms, and what can you tell Nigerians?
Time is our friend.
How?
There's no way a National Assembly will be inaugurated and then within 30 days, 2 months, 6 months, they will now do all amendments and everything they want to put into any act or in the Constitution. An electoral act is not constitutional matter. Constitutional matter is where you have to make sure that you have the buy-in of at least 2/3 of the states of the federation. But electoral act is within the National Assembly, whereby the representative of the people will now throw it open, maybe for everyone to
at what stage are you now on
the stage we are in now, like today, the committee on electoral matters and INEC debate. So we have been having inputs. Even about 2 or 3 days ago, there was even a retreat in Lagos with INEC and then the 2 committees of the 2 chambers. So everything that they got there, they will aggregate it. Then very soon we will open it to everybody. And then to make just act does not take forever. It doesn't take forever. We still have 2 years.
Well, Nigerians are hoping it will be ready before the next election cycle.
It will be ready. It will be ready.
Very quickly,
we know because those of us we are contesting to under the same Electoral Act.
Very quickly,
and then we have seen all the loopholes and where there are problems. So definitely those areas will be dealt with. And
You've set up this ad hoc committee to oversee the activities of the Rivers Administrator. Yes. What are you looking at in a way that can actually check what some have described as his excesses?
Well, for now, I will not say there are excesses or whether there are no excesses. There had been an emergency rule in Rivers State. Obviously, we knew that it would get to that level because there was breakdown of governance in Rivers State. Some people made a mistake and say, why are we not doing an emergency rule in some other states? But the issue of Rivers State, the legislation was no more functioning. Only the executive was functioning. And then after it, our committee now is that, like we said, when we are passing it, when we are supporting the president for declaring it, we said we are going to moderate and that we are going to make sure we do not allow only the executive to take over and to watch the civil administrator. And that since we are the appropriating authorities, that we are going to make sure that whatever we have appropriated for River State is gone to the
Thank you very much. We'll have to say thank you, Senator Yemi Adaramodu is the Chairman, Senate Committee on Media and Publicity. Always a delight having you.
Thank you.